Hey monkeys, how you doing? Damian Keys here. It's that time of year when we're all getting ready and excited for Christmas. And I love Christmas. I'm a massive fan of Santa. Santa! Oh my God! So that means that question arises, should I release my music at Christmas when there's loads and loads of other bands and releases coming out, or shall I wait and hold off until January when it's a little bit quieter? Now that is a very specific question, but it does bring up a trait that I see in musicians time and time again, which is making something and then having this wait before we release it. And it's something which I think is a very odd, old school approach to music. I'm gonna make it, and then after that, once I've made it, I don't know if I'm appreciating it, but I'm gonna leave a big amount of time for the marketing and the promotion of the piece, and then after that, I'm gonna release it. Now that is all fine, as long as the marketing, the working is different to waiting, because waiting is just waiting. Working is not waiting. So I wanted to talk about this because this is a big issue I see in musicians who are effectively losing momentum and losing time. So come with me on this, right? This is about consumption. So let's think about you, the consumer, not you, the marketer, or you, the band that's gonna put out a release, but you as the consumer, how you consume things. If your favorite artist, if someone like Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters pops up and says, oh, we've just recorded this new song, you want that instantly. We live in a world of instant gratification. If we want food, done. If we want a girlfriend, done. Everything is just now, now, now. We don't have time to wait for anything. And so we need, as marketers, as musicians, we need to tap into that, and we need to look after the audience. And so everything that we're doing from here on in is how we look after our audience, how we give them what we want. And if we're leaving them hanging for any other reason than because we're actually physically working on getting this to as many people as possible, if we're leaving them hanging for no reason, that is egotistical. That is basically either lazy or egotistical. And so what we've got to do is we've got to decide what is it that you're waiting for. If you're waiting for Christmas, now let's just think about that for a minute. If you're waiting for Christmas, it's now sort of halfway through November. If you're waiting for another month to release it, okay, so for the next month, your audience gets nothing. So your audience is not being looked after properly with that music that you could give them right now. If you're waiting for Christmas, everyone's gonna release at Christmas. Does that really matter? I mean, are you talking about selling 1 million copies of a single, or are you talking about getting 200, 300 copies out? This is hard work. And if you release it at Christmas versus you releasing it January, and then you actually do the work to get it out there, it won't make any difference whatsoever. Different if we're looking at charting. If you look at the old school metric, it is, if I release something at Christmas with all the other artists trying to battle for that top 40 slot, then I'm not gonna get the #1 slot. Now, I don't wanna be harsh, but if you're looking at getting a #1 slot, you're probably not watching the videos of me for that reason. You're watching this because you want to get some traction and you want to get some momentum. So realistically, this is about looking after the audience. We do that for a while, we build momentum, and then later on down the line, we can start looking at selling large amounts of records and going on tours because we've built up the audience. And if you want to build up the audience, we've got to look after them. So if we're going to be releasing something, I want to look at the what, where, when, how, why. And I'm going to start with what, okay? What would I do if I were releasing music? I would 100% at every turn be looking after the audience. So effectively, I would spend the first 2 years using the music as the gift, using the music as the reward to the audience to say, here's the content that I'm putting out, come with me on my journey. We'll talk about paying for it later on, but right now, I want you to listen to this, to get involved and come with me on my journey. That's what I would use the music for, and therefore, time is imperative. If I've recorded something, it's out. If I've written something, it's a race to get it recorded so I can get it out. Because every time I'm thinking of the audience and I'm not thinking of myself, I'm just thinking, oh, they're gonna love this, here it is. And then do that again and again and again until they are absolutely with you on that journey, which is not gonna be from a couple of Facebook posts and one piece of music. It's gonna take time. Let's look at where I would put it. If it were me, I would put my music everywhere. Yes, I'd put it on iTunes, but I'd put it on iTunes and Spotify and Deezer and YouTube and SoundCloud, and I'd put it on anything at all where I could get that music out to people, because I am trying to look after the people, to get people to hear my music, to come with me on my journey. And at the moment, what happens is I'll probably get 100 musicians and bands contacting me every single day, and a lot of the times I'll say send me the links through, and it comes through on all different platforms. It's quite frustrating, and let's face it, where's the most likely source that someone's going to go and listen to your music? It's probably going to be Spotify. And yes, you might get some traction on SoundCloud, but Spotify is the #1 place. So for the first 2 years, everything I did, I'd just pay a bit of money and I'd get everything on Spotify, and I'd be pushing people there to say, listen to the music there, and then come with me on my journey on the social media. How would I do this? I would make it very, very clear that this is about music that I want to give to you. That's how I'm going to reward you, the audience. And I'm going to make it my mission to look after you if you join me on my journey. So effectively, I'd probably put in some kind of targets or deadline. So I'd even say, I'm going to release a track every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks. Now, whether you choose that to be fully recorded material or something live is up to you. But effectively, I want to give my audience something to look forward to. Come back every 2 weeks and I'm going to have something new that I've made that I just want to share with you because I'm so appreciative that you're coming with me on the journey. So I want to give that to you, which makes the audience think, wow, that's really lovely. I want to come back in 2 weeks time or 3 weeks or 4 weeks time. But again, this is looking after people and doing things as quick as humanly possible. When would I release it? Now this might apply to you, but have you got finished songs which are just on your computer or in your brain? Because if you have, that right now is a waste. And I totally understand having this completely finished album that's perfect that you want to push out there. But when you're making something, when you're making a great chorus or making a great song, even if you don't release it in the future, there's nothing wrong with using that as a piece of content to look after your audience. For example, me saying, hey guys, I wrote this song today. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I don't know if I'm going to put it on the album, but I just wanted to play it for you, or just wanted to put it out for you because, you know, I love you guys and I want you to be part of this journey, and so here's this track. Now that is rewarding the audience rather than saying it isn't good enough for you to see, because that's egotistical. When you're saying it's not good enough for you to see the thing that I've done, and so I'm only going to put up my best stuff, that's fine if you can churn stuff out week by week. But if Dave Grohl, again going back to Dave Grohl, if Dave Grohl popped up and just said, hey, I've got this new song, don't think we're going to release it, but do you want me to play it? We'd all say, yeah, I want to hear it. And even if it wasn't amazing, we'd go, ah, that's nice. And it would be a moment in time and it would be gone. So when would I put stuff out? As fast as humanly possible. I would give myself deadlines, and if I've got something that I could get out to the audience in order to love them and show how much I appreciate them, I would do that. And lastly, why would I do this? Now this is the crux. This is the key bit. This is about me building an audience. This is about you building an audience. And if you want to build an audience, you need momentum. And momentum is all about speed. So if you're leaving an audience hanging for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, in that amount of time, they're going to go cold. Think of it like a live gig. That time where your drummer goes, bosh, finishes that song. How long have you got before you start that next song? Because the audience goes, hooray, and it starts to come down. The vibe starts to come down. What have you got, 2 seconds, 5 seconds? You know what it's like, you're standing on stage, 20 seconds has gone past and the audience is looking at you and you're looking at the audience being like, start the song, start the song, start the song. The audience isn't feeling valued. Well, this is the same thing. If all of a sudden you say, we've got this great journey of us making music, and then there's a 3, 4, 5 weeks before you release it, the audience is going, I want it now. Just give it to me now. I've got shit to do. Give it to me now. I will appreciate it. I'll show you some love and we can move on to the next one. So if you want to build that audience, you've got to start looking at how you're going to look after the audience and how you're going to build momentum. And momentum is based around speed and how fast you can do things. So in answer to should you wait until after Christmas? No, I wouldn't wait for anything. I wouldn't wait. Anytime you're saying should we wait, I think you're doing it wrong. If there is, this is where we're at. This is where we're going to release it, and every single day we are working on promotion, 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 and you have to be honest with yourself. But there's a difference between that and waiting. We'll wait for a couple of weeks and we'll put it out. Why are you waiting? All you're doing is you're taking away the momentum that you've got, and you're not valuing your audience. So take a minute to think about what you're working on at the moment. Are you writing new songs? Are you recording those songs? Are you recording a demo? Are you booking a tour? If there's any part of that where you're waiting, then I would suggest you're doing something slightly wrong, because that word wait is very destructive to what you're trying to achieve. And what we've got to do is concertina it up, so make sure that everything in there is pushed together and you are maximizing your time, maximizing your momentum, and in that case, looking after the people that can make the difference to your band and your success as a musician and as a band. Cool, thanks for watching. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. I know everyone says that, but it does make a difference. But more importantly, come and be a part of this community. And if you've got any friends who are musicians that will benefit from any of this stuff, then tag them in and get them involved in this community, because we're doing it every day. If you've got any questions, hit me up in the DMs below. We do this show every sort of Tuesday or Wednesday, so keep your questions coming. Otherwise, see you guys tomorrow.